A few weeks ago, I scrolled through my Steam library and I stumbled across a familiar face. I bet all of you know who this yellow motherfucker is. We all play Pac-Man at least once. But did you know that there are over 62 Pac-Man games? Me neither, cause seriously, who the fuck cares? Some of these games are on Steam, and I decided to play all of them, do every challenge and every achievement. The first game on the list, Pac-Man Championship. This game is like Pac-Man, but on steroids. Like in the original, the goal is to get the highest score possible. The difference here is that you're racing against time in an ever-changing environment, while mass murdering ghosts just to gain that dopamine hit for a little more extra speed. The achievements for this game are fucking boring. But there still were 12 challenges to do. Most of them were bullshit tasks like sharing your high score on Facebook. The three most interesting challenges were get the score of 1.3, 1.5 and 1.8 million in 5 minutes. Sounds easy, but it's not. Fuck! In the first few runs, I tried to find a good map to warm up a little. I settled with the maps Manhattan and Spiral. Why? Cause they are small and you start with a higher speed than usual. And just after 1 hour, this happened. Let's go. But that was more luck than skill. In fact, for the next 4 hours, I struggled. No way. A lot. So I approached the game differently. I watched videos where people hit very high scores, so I can learn new techniques or even replicate their runs. Of course, I couldn't remember their exact pathways, so I made a screenshot of each pattern and followed them as best as I could. Time passed and my scores kept getting higher and higher. I was getting better and better, so eventually... Alright. After playing this game for about 7 hours straight, I decided to go to sleep. After having a peaceful dream, it was time to finally get that last medal. This time, I nailed the game. What was previously my high score was now a normal run. In fact, I was getting close to 1.8 million multiple times. And you know, after failing and failing over and over again, eventually you get what you fucking deserve. Here we go. And would you look at that. I even got a decent leaderboard ranking. That's it for this game. As a reward I got the classic Pac-Man skin, but this doesn't serve me any use anymore. You're probably thinking, that's the same game with a few mechanics changed. Wrong! Nah, actually, you're kinda right. The most notable differences are this new game mode and that ghosts now run away from you as soon as you try to kill them. This doesn't sound like a big deal, but it absolutely was. Fuck. There are 18 achievements in this game. You can easily get 2 of them by just playing the tutorial. Most of the achievements you can get by playing the score attack mode. There are 3 different difficulties: single train, regular and extreme. You need to get every possible rank on every difficulty. The last 4 achievements are for the adventure mode. You need to play every stage in the game to get them. But here's the catch. At first I thought, I just play through all of them in easy mode and have a good time. But no. The last level is locked. You need 222 stars, which means 3 stars in every level, which means completing every level on the highest difficulty. Now that we have all the boring stuff out of the way, it's time to play the game. After just a few runs, I noticed a strange pattern. I really suck at this game. No, seriously, my scores were embarrassingly low. So I did what everyone else would do. I switched to adventure mode. And oh boy, it truly was an adventure, let me tell you. As mentioned before, I tried to do the minimum and pass, but this didn't work out, just like in school, lol. After every area there is a boss fight. This boss fight gives you 6 stars, compared to the normal 3 stars. I did every boss fight with ease. Nah, not really. Let's just say the game wasn't in my favor. Sometimes it lagged and ruined my run. What the fuck? Sometimes it behaved like a little bitch. Fucking close. No way! And you know, sometimes things like this happen. But this didn't stop me to... Perfect run. And with that, I had 4 achievements secured. So back to score attack mode. This time I had a master plan. I hacked into the game files to find out what the next pattern will look like. In there I also found all the pathways the ghosts go, and if that wasn't enough, I could At the end of the day, who the fuck cares? The third game is Pac-Man 256. This game sucks. The next two games are Classic Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. They're pretty much the same. To be honest with you, these games are boring. Just simple Pac-Man. Same things for the achievements. Now it's time for the real shit. The mothership of all Pac-Man games. 14 games in one, 41 achievements and countless challenges. It's time for Pac-Man Museum Plus. The title isn't that epic though. But first, let me explain this game. We play as Pac-Man, but we are in an arcade. In this arcade, you can play different Pac-Man games, do challenges and unlock cosmetics. And like in every Japanese game, there is a gacha machine. This will be important later on. First of all, the achievements. This time we have a better variety of achievements. I categorized them into easy, hard and grindy achievements. The first ones I focused on were these ones. Now, this might look like a lot. Well, maybe because it is a lot. The reason I chose all of these is that they are chained up to one another. Just like dominoes. Or Slay. You can get one of these bronze achievements by completing all the missions for one game. And you need to do that 14 fucking times. And all these unlock one golden achievement called Pac-Master. With that, we unlock the Golden Pass, which allows us to play games without spending coins. Sounds useless, but it's actually useful for an achievement later on. Then there are the achievements you can get by just playing the game. For example, play 7 titles or play 14 titles. And the same thing with the Visitors achievement. You can get visitors of the Pac-Man universe in your arcade by just clearing missions. I will cover the rest of the achievements later on. For now on, let's play the fucking game. The first game I chose to play was this one. It basically was like any other Pac-Man game, with the difference being that you can jump. I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but this shit can save your life, especially when you are on a good run. Before we continue, I should talk about the missions first. The pattern is pretty much the same for all the games, therefore stop crying you little bitch. The easiest mission is playing the game 2 times. Yes, that's it. The harder missions are getting a score of, for example, 100k. This can vary from game to game due to the difficulty and how many points you can gain. Another hard challenge can be clear X amount of rounds in one game without dying. The more grindy challenges are kill X amount of ghosts or clear X amount of rounds. Okay, let's go back to the game. But it can also ruin your run. It took me 3 fucking hours to finish this game. But to be fair, sometimes I just played like an idiot. Next game, Pac-Man Battle Royale. I never knew this shit existed. In this game you play against a bot in a small arena and the goal is to survive the longest. But to be honest with you, this game is boring. I mean, you can't even hit a clip and there is no battle pass. You can't even emote, like what the fuck, dude? Pac-Man arrangement is fucking sick. It reminds me of a time when life was way simpler. A time before I discovered cocaine. This game has power-ups, teleporters and other cool game mechanics. But this isn't a review, so fuck off. Pac-Land is an interesting game. It reminded me of Cuphead, which is a nicer way to say that I have PTSD. In Pac-Land, you need to run through a 2D map to visit a fairy. She will give you a buff so you can run back home to your family. And I know all this sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it? But did you know that the creator of Mario has stated that Pac-Land was an inspiration for the original Super Mario Bros? So I rescued that stupid bitch. Super Pac-Man is not so super. I didn't like the game. You collect items that are locked in these chambers and you unlock them randomly by collecting cards. Pac and Pal is essentially the same game, with the difference being that this little shit is following you and stealing your items. Now let's get to the exciting stuff. We switch from these old rusty boomer machines to this new shiny PS5. This PlayStation offers us to play modern and more complicated games, like Fortnite. So let's start with... would you look at that? A familiar face. Pac-Man Championship. Again. But this time, it's shit. The problem this time is that they didn't copy-paste the game. They recreated it. Which is good, I respect the effort. But it's bad, let me explain. You have fewer modes, you're slower, and the graphics kinda suck. But you know, it's still cool that they implemented this game. This game was grindy, but easy. And I don't wanna bore you with the same shit again, so compared to all the other games you've seen in this video, this one is very special. You play as Pac-Man, but you are a ball, and you roll through levels. You know, in retrospect, this is exactly what you could get from the title. To do everything this game has to offer, you need to complete every level and collect all the dots. So I started playing the first level. The controls are very janky, but this gave the game a little charm, considering it was originally made for the Nintendo DS. So I played through the first stage with these, and I thought to myself, alright, that's going to be an easy run. The definition of a fool: a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, or is a fucking clown. Ah, okay. In the second stage I encountered a little problem. I was playing through it, collecting all the dots, but in the end I was still missing some. So I played the level again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until I finally looked it up on YouTube. Just look at that. Motherfuckers. Other than that, my experience through the first world went fairly smooth. World 2 was fucking easy. No, seriously, it was. Fuck. World 3 reminded me of two things. This one Mario Kart DS map and One Piece. But this was just a facade of the horror and terror this map causes. So I played the first stage, and there the game introduced these new jump pads. As mentioned previously, the controls for this game are very janky. To collect all the dots, you need to jump off this platform and land on the tunnels. That as soon as you miss the platform, you need to wait for it to return. And this can take some time. And oh boy, this stage took me a long time. In fact, it took me so long that... Nice, I took so long, the timer froze. So eventually I did also that. But there was no need to be excited because the next challenge was just waiting around the corner. I was still missing 19 dots. After rolling around for a while, I found the missing pallets. But there still was something in the way. Let me explain what is going on. So as you can see, I'm wearing this knight armor, which if you do, slows you down. Then there is this motherfucker following me. And if that wasn't enough, I only have one life left. If you press space, you can boost Pac-Man to jump forward. So I tried to get the pallet and get the fuck out of there. But I was overshooting my target constantly. So I tried to get the power pellet to kill the ghost, and I succeeded. Of course I did. What the fuck did you expect, motherfucker? So there was only one thing left, this last pellet. So I got creative. Maybe if we build up some speed. But I never was good at physics and math, so I tried to be more intuitive. I was fortunate enough to find an item that reversed me back to normal. And I found out another thing. I can turn the camera. And with these two things in mind, I got the last pellet. So after I was stuck in the same stage, I could finally move on to the next. I'm going fucking insane. The other stages were easier, so I rushed through them to enter. World 4 was just like World 2. Easy. What brings us to the final, World 5. By now I felt very confident in the game, so I began to enter a flow state. I lost track of time and the only thing I wanted is to complete the game, no matter how many times I fail. And so I begin my way through this world. I rolled through the first and second stages with ease. I was unstoppable until stage 3 rolled around. This stage was very unique and probably the hardest to beat, but this didn't stop me. In fact, it fueled me even more. And here we go. Ooh yeah. The last games are Pac in Time, Pac-Man Arrangement but in 3D, this weird Tetris Pac-Man, Pac-Man Motors, Classic Pac-Man, and... oh. All these games have one thing in common. They are fucking boring. So, here it is. The golden achievement. Just 18 more to go, haha. The rest of the achievements were very easy to get. Place all decorations and remove, place 30 cabinets for no reason, play gacha 100 times, leave your arcade blank, place all balloons, insert 500 and 1000 coins into a cabinet, purchase decorations from this fucking machine, 765 combined plays across all titles, and earn a total of 7650 coins. Oh boy. Nah, actually, this sounds hard but was quite easy. I just played this game and farmed for about 4 hours until I got both. And this even got me placed 11th worldwide in earned coins. And here we go, all achievements. Beautiful. So now that's it, finally. What a journey. Make sure to check out my second channel, Catgirl Lover 1056, for